Okay, let's jump into it. Start off with the main one that probably everybody's sort of seen overnight. DXY just absolutely sort of ripping back. So quick one just with the DXY because this is what we've obviously. Well, I mean we track all the stuff all the time, but um, this leg here is what we've been really sort of focused on after the CPI drop. This was CPI drop a couple of weeks ago, and we said, look, it's going to rally up find resistance as it did, and this was the leg coming down here that we were really sort of focused on because you got your sort of sell down, you've got your bounce, like you find support, you come up here, you find resistance. Generally, a good idea for your resistance is where it's been support previously, and then it's coming down here. And this is the leg that we were waiting to see because this is the one that was going to give us either continuation to the bottom side here, double bottom, which is obviously equal to sort of the previous time. So the buyers are okay, yep, look, we're not ready to sort of really attack it, but we're still not going to let it go further. Or we're going to see what we have seen here, which is a higher low. So they've sort of come into this level here, and subsequently we've seen it obviously push off quite strongly. So the idea sort of being that, where are we at? You know, these are where your buyers were, and then they've pushed up the bid. They've said, look, you know what, we're not going to wait for it to come back down here, and we're going to, for whatever reason, jump in and come back up a little bit quicker over to this side here. So there was a couple of things that have sort of caused this. It's not like sort of one singular kind of thing, but it's sort of like a perfect storm of a couple of instances happening at once. There was a bond sale overnight. I think that was probably a pretty key sort of thing. So apparently with this, it just wasn't really much of a sort of a desire for the bonds. And when the bond market's sort of lacking a little bit, they need to entice people a little bit more. So, you know, it's completely inverse to yields, and yields are what drive the currency and the strength of the currency. So, you know, low demand for the bonds. Well, they're going to go, okay. Well, how about we give you a better yield? No, still no interest. How about a better yield? No interest. How about a better yield? And so on and so on. And so it moves up. And so as the yields move up, the bonds demand sort of lacks, the yields move up to entice people to buy them. And then as people buy them, well, you know, high yield, well, that's a strength for the currency. And that's probably most likely what we saw as the second part of that sort of driver through last night. So as you can see, DXY broke this sort of falling resistance. This actually turned out to be a bit more of a back test through this area here. And we're back up into this sort of quite a crucial kind of area because as you can see, you know, it held it over this time. This is obviously CPI drop off here. The rally bounce found sellers here. So the question now is, do we get in this leg, similar to as we were looking down this way, now do we see you've got your move up, you found resistance, move back down, you found support. Now this is this third leg of this move. And so we're either going to, at the moment, well, lower high, that's not an option because obviously it's blown past it already. So we're up to equal to the last highs. So this is either going to stop here where we have sort of like, you know, basically just, I guess, a kind of double top, but not really a double top, like, but through this kind of move. If we see sellers, you know, we've seen them sell it from this level before. It's obviously sort of come into this level, close very strong, and come into this level now. It's either going to stop here, and then we can see some sort of move down like this, sort of into a bit of a range play, potentially through here, or even sort of a bit of a, you know, ascending triangle. If we just sort of look at something along these lines here, this is definitely a possibility if the sellers decide to sort of step in. Most likely, probably what we're going to see here, though, is a pop through. This did close very strong. We do have GDP sort of coming up at the moment. So that will be the sort of driver and catalyst, I think, for DXY. So I think we may see it a little bit quiet, no major sort of breakouts just before this. But I think potentially we see a pop through, and then possibly something to this effect of a retest, and then continue on and push back up over here. And we can sort of see, obviously, where the market sort of valued it a bit previously. So around that sort of 105.26 level on this particular chart. So, you know, the other one, 105.13 already. Similar kind of thing you can see if we sort of drag this across here. bang, easier levels here. And even on this one, you can see it's just turned a bit bullish, and it's just coming through that level just now as well. So this was a bit of a sort of fake out that led to this whole sell down, but this is the previous sort of falling resistance, and it seems to be sort of poking through there a little bit at the moment. So I would say this is probably tipped for a little bit more upside with the US dollar. See what happens with the GDP. If the GDP comes in light and weak, then that'll probably sort of slow things down a little bit. If they come in with some more strong data, which, US seems to buck the trend with the rest of the world and be the only economy that seems to be putting out strong data, which, really makes you a little bit sort of question it. Yeah, if they do come out with strong GDP numbers, another sort of 50 points up until this zone over here, I think we may sort of find the next lot of selling occurring. So obviously a little bit more sort of strength for US dollar to come if we do get that sort of strong GDP number. At the moment, it's closed strong, it's pushing through. We're seeing the metals get absolutely annihilated. Silver's been holding up pretty well, but yeah, gold has just been trading heavy, heavy, heavy. Just you can't catch a break. Any little rally only lasts 5 minutes, and then just they go, yep, that's enough, and they sell into it. So yeah, quite tough. So we'll flip across to gold because yeah, as we're seeing here, complete breakdown from this area where we've got up to 2450 over here, and they're just smack down. It's tried to come up, and this is the same thing again. As you see, it's sort of where's the little? Of course, we've come down, we've found support. We've come up, we've found resistance. Previous areas that we've seen the market sort of sell it down from previously. Now it's on this leg here. So this is the leg that's vital. So are we going to see it double bottom, higher, low, or continue through to the downside here? So a little bit scrappy this chart, but I can clear it up a little bit. And yes, so potentially what we're seeing with gold into this area would be a bit of a, so let me just fix this up, would be a bit of a bear flag playing out, which does not look particularly good for people that would be long, because this, if this were to be the case, gives you quite a sort of deep price target around that 2250 area. And of course, these are the big supports down here. So if you're getting a play out of this bear flag, you're getting through this area of support over here, which then of course leads us down to our sort of low 22s sort of price targets around into sort of maybe tops of these highs, these wick highs over here, or certainly down into but sub 22, which is not particularly good. I don't think this is really going to play out at the moment. We could see as definitely a test of this 23. I think the GDP is going to be the one that drives it. Either we're going to sort of get a weaker number with the GDP, and we might actually see gold sort of find some buying pressure and then push back up. If this is the case, well, this is the thing. So you've got sell down, support, resistance, find support. Same. You saw the reaction 2 seconds ago. I showed you with the with DXY. You'd see the buyers move up, and then you're back into the swing up this way. You've got your sort of drive up here to see if it sort of can take out this level over here where it was. So let's just drag this up through here. That level there. So let's just get these off here, clean it up a bit. So yeah, this is where we're really kind of looking at it at the moment to sort of see how far this sell down with metals goes. Obviously, we're coming into a slight little bit of support here. We saw obviously this is that little sort of wick closing level of that daily, where if you go back on the videos, I was saying it's kind of it is a hanging man but upside down, and you can see the reaction as it came up through here. So look, it's pretty oversold already. Doesn't really mean a great deal because obviously these things can stay oversold for a long time, but we just have to sort of see if the buyers are willing to sort of step up here. As I said, the other options are double bottom, which would put you down in this level here, or lower low down over here, and in which then you reset the cycle and it goes down till it finds support, resistance, and then you go through that cycle of three moves again. But certainly for the moment, gold has just been absolutely trading heavy. Equivalent, I think I was pointing out the other day, silver undid this whole move. So silver came back up over to the top over here, and gold just could not get out of itself, get out of its own way. It was just absolutely shocking. So yes, we've got kind of see. I mean, look, this could be a little bit of a bear flag. It could be a little bit of a sort of larger sort of channel sell down. It could just end up sort of ranging sideways and consolidating through this period over here for a little while. But certainly for the moment, the market is not looking too happy to sort of buy metals, at least at this level. It's too sort of like prominent with everybody. Like you flick it on and people are like, oh, how do I get involved with gold? Well, there's alarm bells. That's the time to sell. Okay, on to Aussie. Aussie had the data out yesterday. I mean, in a perfect world, well, perfect FX world, we should have seen Aussie hold this rally and push to the top side. Obviously, we didn't. Let's I think I had it on this chart here. We did sort of see it really sort of come off. I mean, US dollar strength was the name of the game with it all. So as it is at the moment, we're seeing sort of obviously buyers trying to hold this little level over here. So clear out a couple of these. We're seeing buyers trying to hold this sort of little level over here. Underneath that, we're back down testing those 65.50s. We'll probably not buy that if that comes down under this level here. But you do have a couple of layers of support on the horizontals sort of coming down through this area here. So if we sort of cut this through here, these are sort of levels where you might sort of find some buying sort of coming back through. So 60, 80, and that round number for Aussie. But yeah, as I said, really at the moment, US dollar's on the front foot, so everything's taking a hit. It doesn't even matter the fact that we got that sort of higher CPI. It was only a tick higher, but the market had been very much sort of harping on about sort of the idea of cuts coming this year and all this kind of sort of stuff. Well, you know what I mean? If their true job is to fix inflation and fight this and yada yada, well, this is literally what is happening now. Inflation's going up. You need to do something about it. The only thing they can do is raise rates. So, hold rates for longer, raise rates. And the main thing that sort of really sort of is stifling at the moment is the fact that the Fed are so flippant with what their approach is. They're saying, oh, look, you know what, we might cut, but you know what, it was like March, then it was June, then it was September, now it's December. You know what I mean? It's just sucking the market in and just sort of getting them, oh, okay, yep, we're going to do it. Yep, we're going to do it soon. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that sort of plays out. That was that little neg D from the other day. But yeah, for now, certainly Aussie not looking super favourable. You can see a little bit of a channel sort of forming out here, which is sort of come in line with these sort of horizontals as well. So downside sort of targets for Aussie, I would say through here would be sort of certainly a high chance that we sort of pop through these levels, continue down, and then find some rallying up around these sort of 60, 80, and round levels, those 20 point increments. You get much lower down underneath here, underneath 65, 60. Then I think you're probably going to be seeing a fairly deep pullback sub 65. So this is really an area through here that you'd be looking to sort of short Aussie for sure. But I think it's still, it's still constructively bullish. But certainly this pullback is coming a little bit deeper. As I said, I'm not an Elliott wave person, but maybe something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correction, excuse me, correction A, B, C. I feel that's probably how it works with it all. But yeah, certainly I would see that we'd probably be getting some sort of rallying through these areas over here. I don't think we're just going to die. The fact that we did have the high CPI means that, in 3 weeks we've got the rate decision. And I think it's going to be certainly a part of how the market view Aussie moving into that, we're going to have to obviously at minimum hold, but potentially do put their money where their mouth is, do what needs to be done, which is what they love to say that they will do. They wait for the data and actually, no, they don't love to say it. This is the US, they love to say it. Aussies are just a little bit sort of, weak on their approach because they're like to sort of pander to people a little bit too much. Anyway, okay, flip across on gold on that. Copper still getting a bit of a sell down through here, same sort of thing. So at the moment, we're seeing what would be the little double bottom. So let me clear up a little bit of the stuff. And you can see this is a good example of how it plays here. So I'll clear this up a bit. So this is a good example. Sell down, support. Buy up, resistance. Sell down. Now we're testing. Double bottom at the moment. Obviously the lower high is gone. High low is gone. So it's either double bottom or you push through. If you push through, well, you have to just let that move play out till it finds support, and then it resets the whole idea. You find support, you come back up. Most likely you'll see people sell into this because there's going to be people buying this level here. So as they buy this level here for the idea that this is a double bottom, they're going to go, oh, I got it wrong. That's all right. You don't have to sort of lose it straight away. Comes back up here, rallies, you get back out. And that's why support and resistance are really the same level, because people will sort of go, okay, well, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Bounces back up here. Oh, great. I can get out of my positions for even. They sell. That adds to the selling power. And there you go again. Support, resistance, and you're testing. Double bottom, high, low, lower, high. And on it goes with the cycle on the way down till, as you saw with Aussie, DXY, buyers step up their bid and they put in a higher low, and then that's how you're going to see you change your trend moving up to the top side. And China smashed up into these price targets. So there we go. It has just been on an absolute rip-roar. This is obviously something that caught me off guard, and I would say quite a fair bit of the market, because look at this sell down here. 3 days of just boof down to and is just grinded up all the way over the top over here, taking out the highs of that whole drop. So it's a 100% undone move up into the price target. These two levels of the red lines are where I thought, look, you know what, we're going to see some reactions. As you can see, as it is right now, we got sellers here. Well, the sellers here. I mean, it's not rocket science with it. We've seen that the market has topped it out at this level. It's come up here, and obviously we've seen a little bit of a sell down off the top up here. This thing has been running these pushes through here on a negative divergence for a while. Now, obviously, it's come up here, taken out the top. This doesn't mean it's over. It just sort of means that, we're just going to see this run on for a little while. Doesn't mean we're going to run on for a little while longer. It doesn't mean that we're done. This could be a little bit of a channel here with a little overthrow. You come back down to the bottom side over here. But certainly this has really sort of smacked people out of it. This is a good example. Sell down, push up, comes down, this higher low, and then bang, resulting action comes up to retest this level here, pushes through, and that's the trade through this area here. Once you've got your higher low, you've taken out the previous high, this little section over here, and it just grinded all the way through here. So yeah, certainly been a big move with that. I mean, if you take out this little drop down part here, this is very typical of what yuan does. It just sits sideways. It's quite a stable currency. When it moves, but it moves to a whole new level, and then it just grinds sideways and stays stable there as well for a little bit. All right, so that looks about it for the session as well. We're just seeing pretty quiet sort of Asia sessions at the moment. Gold's, sold down a couple of bucks, but doing its normal Asia session $5 range. Aussie is holding the lows as you saw a second ago. Silver's been quite good. So I'll do a quick one on silver just because it's really, and this is what I was saying, this is the same drop down that we saw on gold, and silver has just massively outperformed. It went all the way back up to the top. And again, look, this is a big area. We can see the market is just happy to sell this over and over and over and over again. So, we just need to sort of get a close above 32.30, 32.40, up around here, a significant close through this area here, and that will be signaling another wave of buying and pushing back up. I've seen people sort of doing further, deeper analysis on higher time frames to 35 levels, 36 and all this kind of stuff. I haven't looked into it that deeply, but certainly that's where you want to sort of see it go to the top side. If you get much below, say, this level here, I would say then, you're coming down to revisit this little level down here. And as you can see, those buy, it tapped into, that's the way we put the buy level. Let's go this out of the way for the moment. Just back down here, obviously this one didn't come to fruition because, it just kept on running on that Monday. But, as you can see, sell down, clipped it up, and just ran all the way to the top. And you can see sort of how gold has just so massively underperformed compared to this. If we put it on two charts side by side quickly, you can see that if we got silver over here, that's the return on silver. And then, oh, sorry, actually, and that's how gold's performed. Let's put this on the 4 hour as well. There we go. You can see how they line up with the dotted lines on either chart, so you can pick up the time. So up the top over here, you got gold and silver both selling off. Bang, they both sell down, find a bottom. Silver all the way back up to the top at the same time, and it's really just consolidating around near the highs. Whereas gold is the complete opposite. Sold down, small little rally, and now it's consolidating really around the lows. So yeah, not looking too good for gold longs and that in the short term anyway. All right, that's about it for me.